Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is another edition of No Capes, where I talk about my comic books that I read that don't have anything to do with superheroes, and are books that either Ethan doesn't read or doesn't review along with me. Anyway, so we're going to talk about first new Deadwardians, the final issue, issue number 8. I really like this this series, this miniseries, whatever you want to call it. It was a fun read. I liked the way it ended. Some of it we could kind of figure out. Some of it I think you would have had to have had different hints to have figured out some of it. I really liked it though. I like the character. I like our main character. I love the prim and properness that a lot of this is written in. Despite it being vampires, despite it being zombies, as I say every time I do this review, it's not really about that in particular. It was a murder mystery, a whodunit, and why did they do it? And the end of why they do it is pretty interesting. The writer of this, Dan Bennett, has talked about writing other stories that have to do with this and whatnot. I don't know if those stories are really there or not. I don't know what would be next. But if he could tell another story that had this background and had this setting, but wasn't directly related to just that, I'd read it because I like this character, George here. I like George. I like some of the secondary characters that are around in it. I really like his friend Scarlet. I like the simple art of this, and it is very simple. It's a very simple line drawing in it. I'll open up and I'll show you a little bit of it. This is like I said, it's really simple. It's really simply drawn, but it works for what it is. Just some simple line art, simply colored, but it works for this. I mean, at times I think the way they draw the head and neck when it attaches to the shoulders and bodies always seems a little strange to me, but I think it works for the style and for the story that's being told. It does tell the tale, and so yeah. I would recommend this. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a very great ending to it that was satisfying. It was satisfying. It was a fun read, and and like I said, the whole book had more to do than just simply vampires and zombies, but the whole class structure and in a Edwardian time. Kind of thing, and what would that be like? So that's what made it really an interesting book. Next, I'm going to talk about a new book called Lot 13. This is issue 1 of 5, written by Steve Niles, art by Glenn Fabry. Steve Niles writes lots of horror-oriented type books. That's certainly what this is. I don't know if you can see just by the cover here. You got this cover, and probably my camera's going to pick up the detail. Looks like a standard family portrait kind of a thing. You take a close look, though, at Dad's eyes. His eyes had a kind of glassed-over gray look that dead eyes have. And then, of course, you got the extra sibling down here who looks kind of ghosty and whatnot. What's this about? I'm assuming it's called Lot 13 because Lot 13 is probably the lot that the house that these people are buying is on, would be my guess. Maybe not, though. We haven't gotten enough of the story. Basically, the premise of the story is you've got this family. They have bought a new home. They're moving out of their apartment and going to move into this new home. They get to where their new house is at, and their new house is still being fumigated. It's got a giant tent over it, and so they can't stay there. They end up staying in this tenant building, where they can rent rooms for the day, the week, the month, the year, whatever you want to do. Anyway, it is a horror story. It starts out set in the book is starts out set in like 1607, and it starts out with a trial, and the people who are on trial are already dead. This is obviously before the United States. This is like in Fairfax. This is before the United States obviously gotten their independence. So the law of the land was, if you committed suicide, suicide is a crime against God and a crime against the country. So your body is put on trial, and a group of people, a family, is put on trial, and then subsequently found guilty, of course, and they are beaten about their already dead heads and thrown into a pit. And then we get to the modern times. You have this family who we're going to learn more about, I'm assuming. The art in this is absolutely fabulous. Besides our great cover here, I'm just going to show some of the other scenes. This is opening scenes, and like I said, this is 1670, not 1607. But I just really like the art, and the color on this thing is outstanding. Here's the trial. This big scene here of colonial times, and here are basically piled up dead bodies. Most of them are wearing bags over their heads, I'm assuming, so we don't have to see how gross they look. But yeah, here's a shot of the father of the family with his head blown out, and here's some of the other family members: wife, son, 2 daughters, and they are found guilty. But the art is just like I said, and is just excellent. So besides it says art by Glenn Fabry, and then the colors are by Adam Brown. And Adam Brown, you did an awesome job of here's the scene of after they've been found guilty. The crowd kind of tears them apart, throws them all over the place, beats them about the head with sticks, drags them out, and then they throw them into a pit. Here they are laying in the pit, and here, I don't know if you can see that real close there, in the pit, and then the eye of one of them opens up. But anyway, so lots of weird stuff happens in this thing. I guess to some degree it's a standard horror movie kind of thing, happy family doing their thing, and then weird creepy stuff happens. Well, even at the house that they're moving out of, weird stuff starts to happen. There's some issues with the cell phone and a friend that a kid doesn't really have. But like I said, the art is outstanding in it, and it's got it's not full blown, it's not Psycho, Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type horror. It's more suspenseful type horror. Weird things are happening, and those weird things you kind of go, oh, okay, that's kind of weird, and ignore it. Until you start putting them all together. And that's, of course, as the reader, we can put all this together, and so it's a little creepy or whatnot. We're looking forward to the next issue. If you like, straight up horror kind of thing, ghost type, potential type story, poltergeisty maybe, I don't know. Because, of course, I'm only one issue in. Might be worth checking out. I really liked it. Like I said, the art is outstanding. The covers I've seen for the solicitations for the books coming up are pretty grand, too. Okay, last time we're going to talk about... this is Ghost, or Ghosts, plural. Number 1, Nine Tails. And this is a Vertigo title. It was $8. It's a big, thick thing. It's 74 pages of comics. It's got 9 stories in it. Everything ranging from ghost stories that are kind of funny to more creepy kind of things. The first story in here is kind of fun. It's kind of a funny type one about being haunted by a ghost of yourself. Kind of a Schrodinger's cat kind of a situation for a ghost. The main character makes the decision to embrace a certain lifestyle. Basically, he becomes a desk jockey. And in the process, of course, he kills his dreams of being in a rock band. So that ghost of that rock band comes to haunt him, and fun stuff ensues through that. There is a story at the very end of this that Jeff Johns wrote, and Jeff Lemire does the artwork for, about a ghost for hire kind of thing. That's kind of fun, kind of a fun thing. There's some real creepy ones in here. There's one of a guy who basically, I don't know, is like snorting and smoking his dead wife. That's really bizarre and strange. This is a pretty good book. The really big thing that's in here is this has got Joe Kubrick's last known works in it. He had been asked by Karen Berger, who is the editor of this and editor of a lot of the Vertigo stuff, asked him to do a work, and he immediately jumped right on it. And he got as far as having the rough pencils and all the dialogue boxes put in and the dialogue written in. And that's typically where then Joe would then take it and go straight to finishes. He would go straight to inks and then scan it in and color it on Photoshop, and it would basically be done. What they did was they scanned it all in and made, and got it as clear as they could from the roughs. And then I think they redid the lettering balloons, so it was more clearly written, so we could read it better than with Joe's handwriting, and left it unfinished like that, and so it is in here. So that is pretty cool from just a standpoint of if you appreciate art and how how comic book art, some comic book art is produced, to get a look at the roughs of what would be a full-fledged comic. It's not a bad story either. Kind of enjoy it. It's got a kind of a cool ending. So it was really cool to see that. I think it's really awesome that the Kubrick family let that be released for us to see that work, even though it unfinished. And just goes to show the guy can still work pretty good at 70-some whatever years old he was and whatnot. So yeah, this was enjoyable. Obviously, an investment at $8, $7.99. I buy my stuff pre-order, so I get a discount on it. I think it cost me $5 something is what I ended up actually purchasing for. But at any rate, I enjoyed it. It was a fun kind of a ghosty kind of a Halloween-ish kind of a thing, and so it was pretty cool. The one thing that annoyed me in here is there's one here on the front cover. It advertised that there's a Neil Gaiman Detective Boys in there by somebody else actually does it, and literally it does not even end the damn story. It says to be continued in the next anthology. Well, how do we even know when the next anthology is going to be? So that's kind of annoying. Should have been able to produce a story that would have been finished, but anyway, I'm going to keep this short. I'm only doing 3 now. I've got some more that I'll be doing. I kind of want to make my no capes not these big long things, if all possible. But yeah, that's it. 3 bump in the dark type books that I've been reading, and I really enjoy them. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll catch you with the next reviews. Bye.